The Bible tells the story of Cain and Abel, the first siblings in history. But have you ever wondered about Cain's wife? Who was she? And why doesn't the Bible even mention her name? Today, we're uncovering this mysterious figure and the secrets hidden in the early chapters of Genesis. The Bible tells us that after killing his brother Abel out of jealousy, Cain left his home and settled in a distant land. And there he met a woman, took her as his wife, and lived a full life, having sons and daughters, and even founding a city. He truly seemed to get a fresh start somewhere far away from where he committed his crime. But the Bible doesn't tell us who this woman was, nor does it give her name. This little detail has left people scratching their heads and searching for answers for thousands of years. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to explore who exactly was Cain's wife. So let's dive into the mysterious past and uncover this forgotten story. First things first, let's look at the story of Cain and his wife. In Genesis chapter 4, the passage reads, "Then Adam knew his wife again, and she conceived and bore a son, and said, 'I have gotten a man with the help of the Lord.' And she called his name Seth. To him also Adam had sexual relations, and she bore a daughter. And Adam was 120 years old when he had relations with his wife, the mother of Seth, and she bore him sons and daughters. Thus the sons of Adam increased, and the earth began to be filled with their livestock, and with wild beasts, and with grain. And it came to pass afterward that Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore a son. Then she said, 'I have gotten a man for myself, the son of my people, the firstborn of the land of my captivity.' Thus the name of the one who had relations with her, the firstborn of the land of Nod, was named Canaan." As we read through the passage, we can see that the Bible tells us about Adam and Eve's other sons and daughters mentioned in verses 25 and 26. However, only Canaan is named. In verse 26, it states that Adam had relations with his wife, the mother of Seth, and she bore him sons and daughters. Therefore, most scholars assume that Cain's wife was one of these unnamed daughters of Adam and Eve. Anos, first, Adam and Eve had multiple sons and daughters. Genesis chapter 5 verse 4 says, "The days of Adam, the first man, were 930 years, and he died." This verse suggests that Adam lived for 930 years, implying a long lifespan during the early days of mankind. Given such a long life expectancy, it would be reasonable for Adam and Eve to have had many children over the course of their lives. Second, the Bible clearly states that Adam had relations with his wife, the mother of Seth, after the birth of Seth. Third, in Genesis chapter 5, verse 4, it says that Adam had sexual relations with his wife, and she gave birth to more sons and daughters. In verse 6, it says that Adam had sexual relations with his wife again, and she gave birth to a son whom they named Seth. When considering all of these factors, it seems highly likely that Cain's wife was one of Adam and Eve's daughters, although the Bible does not explicitly state this. It should be noted that some people hold differing beliefs regarding the identity of Cain's wife, but this explanation aligns with the context provided in the Bible. Now let's talk about the significance of having multiple wives in those days. At the time of Adam and Eve, having multiple wives was allowed and even practiced by many people. This practice was common in various cultures and societies, including the ancient Near East, where polygamy was widely accepted. Historical records and archaeological evidence suggest that polygamy was prevalent among many groups. For example, the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, and Babylonians had kings and rulers who had multiple wives. In the Old Testament, we find numerous examples of men having multiple wives. Abraham, for instance, had 2 wives, Sarai, his wife, and Hagar, a servant whom he married. Jacob, Isaac's son, had 4 wives: Leah, Rachel, Zilpah, and Bilhah. Similarly, David, one of Israel's most renowned kings, had multiple wives, including his first wife, Ahinoam, and later, Michal, the daughter of Saul, and Bathsheba. The practice of polygamy was deeply rooted in the social and cultural norms of the time, often serving both political and economic purposes. Arranged marriages between individuals within powerful families were common, and these unions frequently involved multiple spouses. In the case of Adam and Eve, the Bible indicates that they had both sons and daughters. Genesis 5:4 states, "The days of Adam, the first man, were 930 years, and he died." In verse 26 it says, "And Adam had relations with his wife, the mother of Seth, and she bore him sons and daughters." This passage implies that Adam and Eve had multiple children, including both boys and girls. It was not uncommon for them to have sons and daughters. Now, you might be wondering, how many children did Adam and Eve actually have? Unfortunately, the Bible doesn't specifically state the exact number of children Adam and Eve had besides their first 4 sons: Cain, Abel, Seth, and Enosh. We don't have a definitive answer. It is possible that they had other children not mentioned in the scriptures. Considering the longevity of their lives, the lack of information in the Bible about their other children could be attributed to several factors. The primary purpose of the Genesis account was to establish the lineage leading to Jesus Christ. Therefore, only the significant ancestors in this lineage were named. Additionally, the concept of an extensive family tree was not central to the theological message conveyed in the creation account. It is important to note that the notion of Adam and Eve having a large family is not a modern idea. It is supported by the text itself. In Genesis 5:4, it states that Adam lived for 930 years. If he had children at different stages throughout his life, it is plausible that he had many sons and daughters. Furthermore, the biblical narrative indicates that the descendants of Adam populated the earth. As the generations passed, these descendants multiplied and spread across the globe. Some people believe that Cain's wife was one of his sisters, either his full sister or a half-sister. There are a few reasons why this theory exists. First, when looking at the line of descent from Adam to Noah in Genesis chapter 5, we see a gap between the ages of some of the patriarchs. For example, the age of Enoch is given us 365 years, while the age of Methuselah is listed as 187 years. Some speculate that this gap could indicate a potential sibling relationship between Cain and his wife. Secondly, the Hebrew term used for wife in the biblical account could also support the theory. The word Isha in Hebrew generally refers to a woman, but it can also carry the meaning of a female relative. Thirdly, certain ancient traditions and interpretations have also suggested that Cain's wife was related to him. Possibly a daughter of Adam and Eve? However, it is important to recognize that these theories are based on interpretations of the biblical text, and there is no explicit statement confirming any particular individual as Cain's wife. One of the most intriguing aspects of this mystery is that the Bible does unexplicitly name Cain's wife. This absence of a name adds a layer of intrigue to her character and raises questions about the reasons behind this omission. Some believe that the Bible intentionally leaves her unnamed to emphasize the broader message of Cain's story. By not providing a name, the narrative focuses primarily on Cain's actions and their consequences. Others suggest that the lack of a name signifies the limited importance placed on women in that patriarchal society. During those times, women were often viewed as property, and their individual identities were secondary to their male counterparts. By leaving her unnamed, the biblical account reflects the societal norms and perspectives of the time. It is essential to consider the historical context and understand that the Bible was written in a patriarchal culture where gender roles and societal norms differed significantly from contemporary standards. What do you think about this mystery? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring more exciting topics, check out our other videos on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest uploads. Thank you for watching. Until next time.